We all have them, those little habits. The ones we barely notice, the ones that seem so insignificant. They sneak into our daily routines, almost like uninvited guests. They might start as a way to pass the time, or to take a break from the hustle and bustle of life. They seem harmless at first. A quick check of your phone, a brief scroll through social media, a momentary distraction, but these moments add up. They accumulate slowly but surely until they become a significant part of our day. But what if one of these habits is silently destroying your life? What if it's not just a harmless distraction, but a silent thief, stealing away your most precious resources? Your time, your energy, your focus. What if it's robbing you of focus, energy and purpose? Imagine the hours lost, the opportunities missed, the dreams deferred, all because of a habit that seems so trivial, so benign. This isn't about some dramatic vice. It's not about something that society typically labels as harmful or dangerous. It's about something much more subtle, much more insidious. It's about something much more subtle, something that flies under the radar, something many of us do every single day without a second thought. It's about the insidious habit of mindless scrolling. Think about it. How often do you find yourself reaching for your phone without even realizing it? How many times do you unlock your phone with no clear intention in mind, only to find yourself lost in a sea of social media feeds, news articles, and online videos? It's about the insidious habit of mindless scrolling. Think about it. How often do you unlock your phone with a clear intention in mind? Or do you find yourself sucked into a vortex of social media feeds, news articles, and online videos? How often do you unlock your phone with a clear intention in mind? Or do you find yourself sucked into a vortex of social media feeds, news articles, and online videos? This constant digital stimulation might seem harmless, or do you find yourself sucked into a vortex of social media feeds, news articles, and online videos? This constant digital stimulation might seem harmless, but it's slowly eroding your ability to focus, create, and live a truly meaningful life. This constant digital stimulation might seem harmless, but it's slowly eroding your ability to focus, create, and live a truly meaningful life. It's a silent thief, stealing away the moments that could be spent pursuing your passions, building relationships, or simply enjoying the present. But it's slowly eroding your ability to focus, create, and live a truly meaningful life. So the next time you reach for your phone, ask yourself, is this habit helping me, or is it stealing my dreams? Marcus is a talented young artist. From a young age, he showed a remarkable ability to capture the world around him with his brushstrokes. His friends and family have always been in awe of his talent, often saying that his paintings have a soul of their own. He dreams of showcasing his work in a gallery, where people from all walks of life can come and experience his unique vision. He imagines the walls adorned with his creations, each piece telling a story, each stroke of paint a testament to his passion and dedication. Marcus envisions a future where his art is not just a hobby, but a way of life. He wants to share his perspective with the world, to inspire others through his work. But there's a problem that looms over him like a dark cloud, casting a shadow on his dreams. This problem keeps him stuck in a frustrating cycle of procrastination and self-doubt. Every time he sits down to paint, he feels a nagging sense of inadequacy. He questions his talent, his worth, and whether his art will ever be good enough. Marcus is addicted to his phone. The device that was supposed to be a tool for connection and productivity has become his biggest distraction. It's a constant source of interruption, pulling him away from his canvas and into a vortex of endless scrolling. Every morning, Marcus starts his day with the best intentions. He wakes up early, stretches, and makes himself a cup of coffee. He sits down with a clear plan to work on his art, to make progress on his goals. He meticulously sets up his painting supplies, prepares his canvas, and even writes down his goals for the day in a notebook. He feels a surge of motivation, ready to dive into his creative process. But then he unlocks his phone. He tells himself it's just to check the time or reply to a message. Just a quick glance, he thinks. But that quick glance turns into minutes, and those minutes turn into hours. Notifications flood his screen, each one demanding his attention. He feels compelled to respond, to stay connected. He checks the time, but then gets sucked into social media, news updates, and endless streams of content. Hours later, he's still scrolling, lost in a sea of digital noise. The day slips away, and with it, his motivation to paint. The canvas remains blank, the brushes untouched. His creative energy is drained, leaving him feeling empty and unfulfilled. His creative energy is spent, his motivation depleted. He looks around his cluttered studio, feeling a deep sense of frustration and regret. The potential he once felt in the morning has evaporated, replaced by a heavy sense of failure. Marcus is a prisoner of his own device, and his dreams are slipping away, one swipe at a time. He knows he needs to break free from this cycle, to reclaim his time and focus. But the pull of the digital world is strong, and the battle is far from over. The ancient Stoic philosophers understood this struggle well. They called it akrasia, the state of acting against our better judgment. They recognized that we humans are often our own worst enemies, sabotaging our own goals and happiness through a lack of self-control. Epictetus, a prominent Stoic, famously said, "We must not be swayed by every inclination, but consider whether it is conducive to our health and strength, both of body and of mind." In a world overflowing with distractions, this ancient wisdom is more relevant than ever. The Stoics didn't have smartphones, but they understood the human tendency to seek immediate gratification. They wrote extensively about the importance of self-control and the dangers of giving in to fleeting pleasures. Their wisdom, preserved in ancient scrolls and manuscripts, speaks to the timeless nature of this human challenge. Today, science backs up their observations. Modern research in psychology and neuroscience has shown that our brains are hardwired to seek out new and exciting experiences. This is a survival mechanism that helped our ancestors find food and avoid danger. Neuroscience reveals that our brains are wired to crave novelty and stimulation. Brain scans show that when we encounter something new, our brain releases dopamine, a chemical that makes us feel good. This dopamine hit is what keeps us glued to our screens, constantly seeking the next piece of information or the next social media notification. Every notification, every like, every new piece of information triggers a dopamine hit, a surge of pleasure that keeps us coming back for more. Social media platforms are designed to exploit this mechanism, keeping us engaged and coming back for more. It's a cycle that's hard to break, but this constant dopamine rush comes at a cost. It can lead to feelings of overwhelm and fatigue. Our brains become accustomed to the constant stimulation, and we start to feel bored and restless when we're not being bombarded with new information. It trains our brains to seek instant gratification, making it harder to focus on tasks that require sustained attention and effort. This can affect our productivity and our ability to achieve long-term goals. We find it difficult to concentrate on a single task for an extended period, and our work quality suffers as a result. Like a muscle that atrophies without use, our ability to concentrate, to think deeply, and to create weakens with each swipe and scroll. To counteract this, we need to practice mindfulness and self-discipline. Engaging in activities that require focus and concentration, such as reading, writing, or exercising, can help strengthen our mental muscles. By being mindful of our screen time and making a conscious effort to disconnect, we can reclaim our ability to think deeply and creatively. The good news is that we are not slaves to our devices. We can reclaim our focus, our time, and our lives. The Stoics offer powerful strategies for overcoming akrasia and achieving self-mastery, even in our hyper-connected world. One of the most effective Stoic techniques is the practice of mindfulness. This involves bringing our full attention to the present moment without judgment. When we are mindful, we become aware of our thoughts, feelings, and sensations without getting carried away by them. This awareness allows us to make conscious choices about how we spend our time and energy. Another powerful Stoic principle is the idea of living in accordance with nature. In our digital age, this means recognizing the importance of balance. It means setting boundaries around our technology use and making time for activities that nourish our minds and souls. Start small. Choose one specific time each day to disconnect from your devices and engage in a meaningful activity. Maybe it's reading a book, spending time in nature, or having a genuine conversation with a loved one. The key is to be intentional about how you spend your time and energy. Breaking any habit, especially one as ingrained as mindless scrolling, will be uncomfortable at first. The Stoics embraced discomfort as a necessary part of growth. They understood that true freedom comes from mastering our impulses, not being ruled by them. When you feel the urge to reach for your phone, pause. Notice the urge without judgment. Take a few deep breaths. Choose to engage in a different activity instead. Remember, every time you resist the urge to scroll, you are strengthening your self-control and taking back your power. Here are a few practical tips, inspired by Stoic philosophy, to help you break free from the scroll. Establish tech-free zones. Designate specific areas like your bedroom or dining table as tech-free zones. Turn off notifications. Free yourself from the constant barrage of digital distractions. Use apps to limit screen time. Leverage technology to help you regain control over your technology use. Find an accountability partner. Share your goals with someone who can support and encourage you. Remember, this is a journey, not a race. Be patient with yourself, celebrate small victories, and keep focusing on the bigger picture. The choice is yours. Will you continue to let mindless scrolling steal your time, energy, and purpose? Or will you reclaim your focus, embrace the power of the present moment, and start building the life you truly crave? It's time to put down the phone, step away from the screen and start living a life of intention, meaning and fulfillment. The life you were meant to live.